What's up, everyone? Thanks for joining us once again on the Dstar01 channel. I'm your host, Dexter, Arafiles, and today we will be looking at the Bring Arts Final Fantasy IX Kuja and Amarant Chorale. This looks fantastic, as you guys know. One of my favorite video games back in the day on PlayStation 1 was Final Fantasy IX, and I'm so glad, 20 years or so later, we finally get some action figures. We're going to open this up, we're going to see how it is in terms of paint detail, articulation and scale, and accessories, as well as comparing them with other action figures. So enough of me talking. You can get this at www.dstartoys.com for your source for awesome action figures. Alright, let's go to Top Cam. Let's see what we're dealing with here. This set is going for about $170, $160. Kind of pricey, but we're going to open it up. We're going to see if it's worth it, especially for a fan like me who loves Final Fantasy IX. So we got the manual and stuff that came out. We're going to look at that later if we need to. I was really hoping when they announced these figures a couple of years, no, maybe like a year back, maybe 2 years back, that we would get them as a single pack. But unfortunately, you have to pay the price for a double pack. So far, this set looks really cool. So let's look at this guy first. Let's go to front cam. Let's set him up right here. Amarant. Let's look at Amarant. Don't really use this character that much, even though he's kind of tanky, really strong too. But here he is, and we got him. First and foremost, let's look at this hair. So this hair is pretty soft. Look at it. It has some give to it. I thought it would be super rigid, but nope, we're dealing with a soft plastic here, which feels really nice and nicely textured. As you can see here, they gave it some shading of the black to the red, which is really cool. Let's look at the face now. Face looking really, really solid. Of course, we can't see his eyes, just like in the game, but the skin tone, very nice, very light blue, kind of grayish, and we have the earrings right there with the goatee. So this is how he looks like in the game, and I have to say it's faithfully recreated in a plastic form here. Let's look here. We have tattoos of the lizards right here on his shoulders. This guy is also, one thing I have to mention, he's quite heavy. This is a pretty hefty action figure, so I gotta say he's really nice, really heavy, feels very high quality in terms of fit and finish and everything like that. Also, he has a really nice matte finish, which gives him a really unique look in the light. The green looks really cool from like the shadowing here, and then it goes into a nice olive green there, which looks really cool. The belt looks really nice, pretty standard stuff right here. Obviously, you're dealing with a more chibi look when it comes to Final Fantasy characters, when it came to Final Fantasy IX. Also, the pants, really nicely shaded as well. This whole figure looks really, really solid in terms of shading, especially since the other Final Fantasy IX figures didn't have that much shading. This one is definitely well shaded, well painted, and everything like that. So Amarant looking really, really solid right here. Now, for the main bad guy of the series, of the game, let's look at Kuja here. So, the look of Kuja, I always thought would be a difficult thing to put into an action figure. He just looks so different than the other Final Fantasy villains, in my opinion. So let's look here. Let's see if they did a good job. First off, let's look at the hair. You've got nice wavy silver whitish hair right here, which is very, very detailed. Very nice looking. Let's see if they got the face down. I have to say that feminine look is definitely there, but really, really evil eyes as well. One thing I noticed is they didn't give the skin tone much shading, much like Amarant here definitely has more shading in his muscles and everything like that, which gives him this really cool look and light. But then, again, back to the paler skin characters of the Final Fantasy IX series, not so much. It looks like they just decided not to give the skin tone any shading at all, but there is shading in the clothes and stuff. And also the clothes are matte finished as well, which look really, really nice, especially these armor pieces right here on the shoulders. Purple is very vibrant. The clothes very nicely painted and everything like that. Love the way this figure looks. I gotta say, they did do a good job in bringing Kuja into an action figure right here. But the question is, can we articulate him well? And so far, yes, we can articulate him very well. Main bad guy of the series. Looks like in order to move the shoulder joints, they have to be at a certain angle. You can't just move them all the way up to get this full arm's length type thing here, like he's gonna hug you. Let's see if Amarant has that same issue. Wow, his joints are extremely tight. In fact, if you look here on mine, it looks like they put a little bit too much plastic here on the shoulder joint, hence giving it that extremely tight feel. My goodness. But so far, I have to say these two look really, really good, especially for the price that you're paying. You better have a really good looking figure and really functional as well. So there you have it. Those are those two. When it comes to paint and detail, looking really solid. I have to say, no issues here. Maybe a little bit on the joints, a little bit, like especially Amarant here. He had a little bit too much plastic, but nonetheless, still really, really good looking. Especially Kuja. I love the way Kuja looks. Let's move on to articulation and scale. Let's see how tall these guys are. So Amarant is looking to stand at the very top here, about 7 inches on the very top of his hair. How about Kuja? Let's see how tall Kuja is right here. If you want to go for the very top, we're looking at 6.5. But if you want to just go on the very top of his head here, we're looking at 5 3/4 right there. So these guys are pretty tall. Let's compare it to other Final Fantasy IX. Here's Bring Art's Beatrix. Beatrix is pretty short in comparison to Kuja there. Hold on. Let's have everyone stand up correctly. Seems like I'm having a little bit of issues here. Okay, so there you go. Kuja is a little bit too top heavy because of the hair right here. Give me 1 second. All right, there we go. So we got him to stand. There's Beatrix in comparison. And of course, we have the other monkey boy, main character of the game, Zidane. Ooh, Zidane is incredibly short in comparison. Ooh, I didn't think he would be that short in comparison. Okay, maybe we need to do some research before that. Here's Freya right here, the Lancer. And we have Garnet right here, or Garnet. And let's go with other action figures. Sure, here is my custom Gohan from Dragon Stars. And last but not least, we have Marvel Legends Worthy Cap right here. Huh. Give me 1 second. I gotta check to see if he's really that tall. Okay, so I just did some research right now, and it's weird. The internet, maybe this isn't true, because you can't trust everything you read. According to what Google says, it seems like Zidane is actually 5'6", 5'7", and Kuja is supposed to be 5'5". And I don't think that's necessarily true. Kuja is supposed to be taller, if I remember, in the game. But is he supposed to be a head taller? I don't think so. This is where I'm starting to think there's a little bit of a negative here. Kuja is actually supposed to probably be, if I remember correctly, someone correct me in the comments down below, probably about this much taller than Zidane. So this might actually be scaled a little bit higher. A little bit bigger. Okay. So let's look at articulation. We have an up and down here at the ankle. We have a bend at the knee. We have a ball joint here at the crotch. We can get some solid kicks in, front kick, side kick, and whatnot. We have a rotation here at the waist. How about in the upper part of the waist? Yes, so we have 2 articulation points, one up here, one down there. And he looks like he's sporting a solid 8-pack right there for some weird reason. We have a single shoulder joint right there. Actually, that's a double-sided shoulder joint right there. Do we have a bicep swivel? Yes, we do. Awesome. And we have a bend at the elbow right there. Ball and peg here at the wrist, looking to actually have 2 balls and 1 peg in the wrist right here to accommodate the look that he's sporting. And it looks like we have 2 here at the neck, looking to be well above 20 points of articulation for this guy. And you can get him to pose really well. Let's see if we can get him to pose. There's the fighting stance right there and whatnot. I think the issue with this figure is he's a little bit too big, and not to mention he's a little bit unbalanced due to the hair, but the unbalancing part isn't an issue. You can just pose him correctly. Let's look at Amarant here. So when it comes to articulation, we actually have a toe joint on this guy, unlike Kuja, who didn't have a toe joint. We have an up and down with a nice ankle swivel right there, bent at the knee. No ball joint here. This is a unique type of joint. It looks like we have a kind of like a, yeah, this is a ratchet joint, so those are clicky joints. I did not think this guy would have a clicky joint. So I have a clicky joint going up and down and a clicky joint going left and right, so you can get some solid kicks in there. A little bit too solid, I think, but nonetheless, those are staying pretty solid. And I think the reason why they did that is because he's so top heavy that you really need solid leg joints for him to stand correctly. Let's look here. Does he have a rotatable waist? Not at the bottom, unfortunately, but we do have one here at the top part right here. And then the shoulder joint, which is also a double ball-headed joint right there. No bicep swivel, unfortunately, but we do have a bend here at the elbow. And we have the standard, let's see how his hands are. Looks like to be a ball and peg in there as well. And two joints here at the neck looking to also be 20 points of articulation. Let's see if we can get him to do a punch right here. Boom, there you have it. Can we get him to do a punching pose, kind of like boxing style? There you have it. Uppercut. Whew, he's supposed to have claws, but we're going to look at that later in the accessories. Let's see if he can do a side kick. Not so much on the side kick. That kick's really ratchety, as you can hear, but we can get him to take a knee right there. Let's look at Kuja. So let's see if he can do a superhero pose. He should with the proper joints. Boom, so here's the superhero landing pose that I like to do. And this is as best as we're going to get it. Unfortunately, not the best, but because he has all kinds of clothes and stuff, but we can do side kicks, front kicks, flying knees, shoryukens, and all kinds of cool poses with this guy because they have a ton of articulation. So these guys are very articulated, so you can get them to do most of the stuff that you see in the game. So let's go to accessories. First thing, let's go to top cam right here. We have Amarant's claw hand right here, which looks really cool. And then we have, how many hands? We have 5 hands there for Kuja. And then we're also going to look at this. So Kuja has 2 extra heads right here. Amarant has 1 extra head. Amarant also has 3 extra hands in this package, and don't forget the stands. All right, so let's look at Kuja's extra head first before we move on. Let's go to the front cam. So let's remove this head. Pretty simple. Ooh, I really like the way that looks. Look at that. We have that like bleeding scar type thing. Looks like he got really hurt here. I forgot when that happened in the game. That's probably at the end of the game. This might be a spoiler for some who haven't played Final Fantasy IX, but that looks really solid right there. Wow. So yeah, that's really nice. All right, let's look at the other head of Kuja. And this is him with his maniacal laugh, like I'm going to destroy the world type laugh. Very feminine looking, as he should be. And I think that is it. We don't get any effect pieces whatsoever. It's not like we ever did, but yeah, you just get the 3 extra heads, and that is it. Now let's look at Amarant here. Is there even a difference? Okay, so there is a slight difference. Honestly, they could have saved some money and us some money if they just had replaceable faceplates, but unfortunately, well, fortunately, I guess, we have an extra head, and here we just have him slightly smiling. So let's remove this head, and let's see how he looks with that slightly smiling face. And there you have it. Actually, I really like the way that looks. That looks really nice. Also, let me just say, I love the strength, the girthiness of this neck peg, saying that it looks like it's going to be super durable. I think they were going for a durable slash really hardy figure with this one. Very heavy. So let's get the claw on him so you can get a weapon. This is an actual weapon that he has in the game. And let's put this on. Everyone please stand by. There you have it. That's him with his claw. Ooh. Looking really solid. And then we have extra hands here. Usually we don't look at the extra hands, but I guess we'll give it a quick look. And here, ooh, really, really large hand right here. And almost grippy hands, and then we have an open palm here. Let's just put this here, and then we will come up with a conclusion of Amarant and Kuja. Okay, one thing I forgot, this is after the review, I totally forgot about his armlet here that comes with the set, and it's actually supposed to go on his arm like so. But first off, let's look at the paint and detail here. Totally forgot to do this in the accessories. So glad I caught this. And there it is. The paint and detail looks absolutely amazing. Looks like we got a little bit of paint bleed, but it's not that big of a deal, honestly. I think it still looks really, really solid. Now all we have to do is remove the sleeve, which I already did. And we can take that out, like so. And we can plug this in. So this was made for his claw arm, like so. So it looks much better with that. Sorry about that. Just want to let you guys know that that comes with it, so you can have this look. So there you go. Okay, and there we have Amarant with that huge left hand. Wow, he has a huge left hand right there. All right, let's stand these guys up and let's come up with a conclusion of the Kuja and Amarant set from Bring Arts from Final Fantasy IX. So, as I said before, the biggest negative, I think, maybe Kuja is just scaled a little bit too tall. These two are supposed to be rivals, right? Enemies and stuff like that. And it just seems to me that Kuja just is scaled a little bit too big. Now, Amarant, on the other hand, he's supposed to be huge, right? He's supposed to be this big. So I have no issue with his scale, but I think the only problem I have with this set is that Kuja is just scaled a little bit too big. And I think I can come up with a conclusion that the reason why they decided to do that is because we have all kinds of stuff going on here. His clothes, his details, his armor, and everything like that is going to be really difficult to recreate in a smaller scale. So they decided to scale him up just a little bit. I don't know if this is an issue. It's a little bit of an issue to me. But besides that, these two look really, really good. I have to say, this is probably the best two in terms of looks, finish, and detail out of all of them. Especially Amarant here with all his shading and into his clothes and whatnot. And don't forget the intricate details of Kuja. So I have to say these two are fantastic. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy IX, I have to say this is worth it. So there you have it. That is my take on it. Thank you for watching. As Amarant falls, he is a really top-heavy guy. If you guys are looking to buy these figures, you know where to go. You can always go to www.Dstar01 where all the social awesome and extra figures. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're always in the know when we post new videos. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Hey you! Thanks for watching. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Where? Right here. Not there, right here. You. And thanks for watching. So, rate, comment, and subscribe. Right here, right there, right here. Yeah.